Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet SkyFF, the world where everything revolves around £50,000. Sorry, the world where everything revolved around £50,000 for most of the year, and definitely doesn't now. James, how are we doing?
All right, mate. Yeah, not too bad.
Rank,
It
rank still
really
got two
is.
digits in it, or
Oh yeah,
three
yeah.
digits?
No, I'm 37th, but
Okay.
it's died a death. I mean, it's I wouldn't say season's over or anything. But you're looking at it now, getting two transfers left, and what can I even
Chu
do
doing
with it?
Chu.
What can I do to? I ain't got Chu. What can I
No, no,
do
that's what I'm
to?
saying. He
Oh
hurt, right?
yeah,
Because so many people did.
yeah. I tapped out for a second during the game, and Leicester scored, and I was like, "Oh, who is it?" Oh, it's the one player I really didn't want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's catalogue of nothingness. And I think a lot of people have scored not too badly this week, but I mean, essentially it's what we call a double game week in FPL, isn't it? But the scoring from the template over the last 3 weeks or so has been quite low as well. Generally, there's been a lot of captain misses. I feel like the only one I've had every week is Iheanacho goal, Iheanacho goal, Iheanacho goal. That's been about it. 37th for me now. It's about consolidating a decent position I've got in mini leagues and still not really knowing what to do with those two transfers because it depends on the Chelsea Arsenal team tonight, really. How was your week?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say our friend Ian Parron tweeted the other day, only 12 more captaincy days to pick, and that to me was like a wow, like that's nothing in the grand scheme of a whole season of Sky. I was like, only 12 days, meaning that I'd kind of felt like there was more of the season to go. I don't know why. In my head, I was like, because I've still got like 6 transfers, mate, to be honest with you. And I was just thinking that there's more of the season to go. I might power into something. And then when he put that tweet out, say 12 days, 12 captaincy days, and that was at the weekend, mate. So half of them are gone. I was like, wow, nothing. So there's 2, one today, one tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's 5, 6, 7.
It's 9 days to go.
9. Yeah, it just nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, I mean, I did okay. Iheanacho did all right. Bruno Fernandes did okay. Azpilicueta and Dallas, but apart from that, it's a nothing burger here, mate. I'm very much just trying to think about what I should have done differently at the start of the season and in the mid part of the season that would have helped me. I'm not sure. I really was thinking about this. I've got a FPL mini league that I was doing quite well in, and I'm falling behind the leader now because he's busting out a couple of chips. He left some behind. And I'm just curious as to whether leaving transfers for later in the season or using them earlier is or isn't an advantage, because we sometimes take opportunities. We didn't know what was going to happen later in the season. I don't know if, would you feel different? Do you feel like you should have left a couple more transfers, or do you feel like you used them wisely enough?
Nobody's going to want to be in this position and not have more transfers than what they have. It's even if you're first, you're going to be wishing you had more transfers than what you had, unless whoever's first got like 6 or 7 left. He's probably thinking, oh shit, I could be further ahead. But majority of us are on maybe 2, 3 left, maybe even 1. I've seen a few people already are definitely on.
I've just looked at it. It's not Michael Shipley. What happened to Michael Shipley?
I don't know. I don't know, Michael. Bless him. But it's not
Michael,
over yet, is it?
I thought you'd won it, boy.
He probably still will. Who's top now?
Thomas Lovell, and he's got 42 points on him, mate.
Oh wow, he's obviously had a stormer.
Wow, and Dan, aka Ian Cox, has snuck into second. Wow, that's a big gap. 42 points. I think at this stage of the season.
What we'll do is let's talk briefly over the weekend that was. Let's then break this into 2 different kind of pathways. Trying to help you with a high number of transfers left, and trying to help me with a low number of transfers left and captains for the game week. We recorded last Wednesday, and I think the fixture rearrangement that everybody was expecting definitely didn't happen. For all the Liverpool fans moaning this morning about Manchester United putting out a weak team last night, don't blame Manchester United, blame the Premier League for fucking up the fixture schedule. 10 changes for Man United last night, and everyone's going mad. Why weren't they going mad about Manchester City's 9 changes on Saturday? Anyway,
Exactly.
I think and they lost. So
And we need to go back even further. Like there was the busy Christmas period, right? My own team, we rotated, and we might have won games, we might not have. A lot of teams rotated at Christmas. I don't think there's any obligation on any team to put out their strongest team every week. They should, but I don't think we as fans have rights to say you have to pick that team or that, no, not that team.
It seems, we discussed this on Thursday and Friday in other pods. It seemed fairly straightforward once the fixtures were announced that United were going to mass rotate against Leicester. And that's why, for me as well, it was off the table come Saturday to be selling Maddison or Iheanacho. I've ended up obviously captaining Iheanacho last night because he was the one who started. In the end, it obviously didn't matter in any way, but that's why that became off the table for me. And obviously that fixture rearrangement meant there was no need for me to get Zaha. And I guess you could say that's worked out because he's done nothing really across the two games, just one assist, which is not what you'd have wanted from. It would have been probably two captaincies for me, so it wouldn't have particularly worked out great. My week was I didn't make any transfers therefore on Saturday, so I held Maddison and Rafinha, who came back obviously as a sub again. Once he was on the bench, I was like, okay, he's fit. I'll have him for the last 3 games. He can stay for me, and I may well captain Rafinha in one of these, if not 2 of these remaining games actually for Leeds. Friday I had Iheanacho captain. Saturday, who did I captain on Saturday, Suj? Oh, Harry, blanket Leeds. Well, obviously, most people went for Salah Saturday night, so that cost. And then Sunday was absolutely hilarious because by 12:45, I had 3 different DMs saying to me, please tell me you captured Lewis Dunk. And by 1:20, I had 3 DMs back to me saying, I'm glad you didn't captain Lewis Dunk. But I wished I still had because I'd captained Jesse Lingard. But watching that Wolves-Brighton game, going back to my decision, obviously going back to sort of game week 30, to hold Dunk over Azpilicueta and continuously still hold Lewis Dunk. And then he scores, he hits shots here. He's on for a clean sheet against a lackluster Wolves. He's nine passes off passing here. That red card, I think, would have cost captainers 28 points. I think he was on for an extra 14 points. I think he would have got man of the match as well.
Wow.
So I would have been that red card for any captain, 28 points, I reckon, was different. So, I mean, it cost me 40. I'm not complaining about the 8-point return, right? I certainly would have taken
more than you would have expected in any week.
If I'd have captained in pre-game, I'd have kind of had my fingers crossed for 10. So, I mean, 8 with a red card is not the worst. The problem is also it's a 2-game suspension for him. And I was of the judgment with Dunk that actually he could still hit passing tiers in 2 of the remaining 3 games against West Ham and Arsenal. But with only 1 game left, being the Arsenal game final day, I'm going to have to bin him, I suppose, aren't I? Even the Leicester guys.
I don't know if you already had for maybe Anderson on Monday night or anything like that.
No. So what I decided to do Monday was buy Pope. I think it wasn't necessarily the right decision for the makeup of the squad, but I think in terms of trying to get the gain for me, it was the right decision. It was either going to be Pope or Wood. And I think if I'd gone Wood, I'd have had to bin Iheanacho, which in hindsight, before the game on Tuesday, I wish I'd just got Bruno's 1 point, been a point less off, put Wood in the team and just left Patricio. But it was the right decision, influenced by Dunk's red card, giving me another captaincy option for this Saturday, which we'll talk about in a bit. That's kind of what clinched it for me, was maybe to go in for Pope. The thing with Pope is, if he keeps a clean sheet, there's every chance always that those save tiers are coming with him, basically. So that's why I went with Pope. He did the job. They had a couple of scary moments, particularly when Anguissa hit the bar, but they're reliable as hell. They went back to, we said they've been quite open for the last sort of 8 game weeks or so. But as I predicted to you, for Fulham, they'll go there and beat a Burnley that you know to shut Fulham off, to finish the job and make sure they didn't get a sniff of trying to catch. Remember, Burnley went into the game 17th, right? So they shut the game off. Last night, I captained Iheanacho. So I've got 2 left and I've got multiple problems. I think I'm in the worst position, which I think a lot of Sky managers find themselves in at the end of the season, which is I don't like my team.
Right.
Because there are 6 players I'd happily get rid of now. And I've only got 2 transfers, so that doesn't work. I'd happily bin Rob Holding. Lewis Dunk obviously would happily bin now. He's only got 1 game to go. Lingard, I'd happily bin. Perhaps not right now, but on Sunday to get an extra fixture of someone maybe. Maddison, I'd bin. Iheanacho, I'd bin. Personally, I'd bin Bruno Fernandes as well. Because I don't know if I'm going to captain him tomorrow night. Probably not. He's got the Fulham game Tuesday, where if he's in the team, then I think I can't look beyond captaining him at home to Fulham. Then I don't think he plays the final game on the Sunday. So even with a captaincy, he's only got 3 left. And if I could get any better other captaincies in, like I could use Rafinha against Fernandes to go different next Tuesday, for example, and I potentially might do that. There's other players with captaincies, like he's basically comes effective 5 fixtures or so. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet because I've got Holding tonight. And if he's in the team, I'm actually going to stick the armband on him because I can't see enough of a gain in Chelsea. I think I would explain it like this. I'm looking at it and going, if I get Azpilicueta tonight, for example, he's in the team, fine, captain him. It's my best chance for a big return tonight. Absolutely, definitely. But then he's got 2 games to go. No guarantee that he plays both of those games. So it's still only effective 3 matches for me. Whereas, say, tomorrow night, I could maybe wait another night, go for Robertson in place for Dunk instead. I've already got Trent. I know that he's highly likely to play the 4 games, but I won't captain him. So what's the better answer there? You've got Azpilicueta. If he played all 3 games, effective captaincy makes it 4 games versus Robertson's 4 games, and Liverpool have got the better fixtures, I would say. That's kind of the debate I think the sort of people are in at the moment. What's the better choice there, for example? The other one is I don't have Salah. So do I power into Salah tomorrow night for Iheanacho, for example? I don't think I'm going to. And the reason I'm looking at that is I think tomorrow night I'm probably going to captain Calvert-Lewin. On Liverpool's 2 games against West Brom and Burnley, I don't think he'll start both. I think he'll only start one of those 2 games. And I've got Kane covers those days anyway with 2 home fixtures. Yes, definitely on the final day of the season against Palace, I think he would be the standout captaincy choice. But then again, is that worth it in place of Iheanacho? Which would then, that means I've definitely got to keep at least one of Dunk, Holding and Maddison. Yeah. I've got to keep 2 of them. Sorry. Because I've only got 2 transfers left.
You don't like 6 of your team, of which 4 are the same as 4 of them are in my team right now. And I've got other problems, but I'm in a situation where I don't actually know what my problems are. You'll probably tell me what my problems are better than I'll know myself. Patricio in goal.
Yeah.
He's lingered. He's just lingered there.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta, I think he's all right. The only worry for me with Azpilicueta,
I think he's the sort of player if you keep him even after
rotation
tonight. I think,
is the problem. Cancelo?
Yeah. You keep him for Friday at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Dallas you keep, definitely.
Yeah, Dallas has been all right, to be honest with you.
Dallas is a great captaincy shout for Saturday, in my opinion.
Our midfield is Lingard, De Bruyne, Maddison, Fernandes. Like you, I don't like Lingard, Maddison. Bruno can stick around, but Kevin De Bruyne's got a flag at the moment. I don't know his fitness status.
Again, you keep him for Friday in the first instance.
Iheanacho.
Yeah.
Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
Diogo Jota. See, Jota and Son are like your alternatives to Kane and Son. It's one of those where, is it really worth it to move off one for the other? It probably is, but is it worth a transfer? That's the thing, right? I think Kane and Salah will outscore Son and Jota, but do I want to use 2 of my transfers for that?
Okay, let's do captaincies.
Maddison, Lingard, De Bruyne are the 3 that really are meh.
I'm thinking of maybe buying De Bruyne on Friday.
Okay, if we know he's in the team.
Let's do captaincies talk, and then I think I can help you map out what you should probably do for the rest. So, lovely. What's your plan tonight?
Azpilicueta, because it's my only choice.
Straightforward. I think.
What if he's not in the team?
Well, yeah. So what do you do?
I don't want anyone at Arsenal. I'll tell you that.
No, definitely not. I think alternatives would be obviously Rudiger. But again, because of the FA Cup final Saturday, the 2 league games, then the Champions League final afterwards, there's got to be a consciousness of rotation. I think that Mendy would maybe solve a Patricio issue for you.
Yeah,
but we assume Kepa probably plays the FA Cup final. We've had a few instances afterwards, after Kepa's played cup games, where Kepa's then played the next league game, has happened a couple of times. So that would be a little bit of a concern. But I think Mendy would, I would say, if you went for Mendy tonight and they kept a clean sheet, that's probably more points than Patricia will get for the remainder of the season anyway. So you might argue that that's worth it. I think going forward, Mount and Havertz would be the two that offer you a little differential punt. I wouldn't put anybody off going for those two tonight. I think particularly Havertz could be quite interesting. Actually, now he's been I thought it was really good against Real Madrid last week. He's been getting better. He obviously had the rest at Man City at the weekend. So I think Havertz,
remember he had COVID earlier this year, didn't he? So
we never know the impact of that. So I think he's starting to show a little bit of form now. So I think for differential for the run-in, Havertz would be the attacking one that's probably the most interesting. I don't know if Holding's in the Arsenal team. I think I'm just going to leave it and hope that I can't see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet, but hope that the game finishes 1-1 or something and everyone blanks. And I know that the Azpilicueta owners are probably going to do me on the Parsons here, but okay, fine. They'll outscore me by 6 points or so and I'll have to live with it. I might still make the move. I think if Holding's not in the team, I might have to just go for a Chelsea player tonight because I can very conceivably see that being a 20-pointer for someone like Azpilicueta. And I think in that case, a little bit like Pope on Monday night, Pope's paid for the transfer. Patricia ain't going to get 22 points in the remaining 3 games. And Pope's got 3 games to go. Where Pope will probably still outscore Patricia quite comfortably in the 3 games that are left. Particularly as Pope's got Sheffield United last day as well. But I think same thing. If Holding's not in the team tonight and I went for Azpilicueta, I could get the immediate 20 points off that. And with 2 games left for both of those 2 players, then I'd expect Azpilicueta to comfortably outscore him more as well, in which case I think it's worth it. But you could say, okay, I move Holding. I've still got fucking Lewis Dunk. It's this Dunk that I move, isn't it?
Yeah. Keep Holding.
And then again, back kind of Chelsea versus Liverpool. Should I just do that anyway? Should I just go Dunk to Azpilicueta tonight in any case? I won't make any decision till I've seen the team. And the problem I've got is if I go for it tonight, it blocks me out of any further Liverpool coverage, which I like because I think from tomorrow night, the remaining 4 fixtures, or arguably even on Sunday, with 3 fixtures over some others 2s, you might pick up additional injury issues on Saturday or something like that. Knowing my other transfer is going to be for Manchester City on Friday. Tough. That's where my 3 transfers are going to be. It's going to be between tonight, Liverpool and Man City. But I just don't quite know the order of what I'm doing yet.
So tomorrow night, in terms of captaincy, United, Liverpool, I've got Bruno and I've got Jota. I think I'll just stick with Bruno and play it safe.
I'm going to go DCL at Villa.
I think that's a sensible thing to do.
That's what I'm going to do. I mean, I see the team of that as well. So, not that I don't fit. I wouldn't imagine there's any. I mean, Bruno definitely starts tomorrow night. That's a certainty now, having got the break last night. I wouldn't think there's any doubt about Liverpool's big hitters playing tomorrow night either. They'll pick their strongest team, won't they? It's the Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday that makes me think that Liverpool's attackers will still get rotated over these 3 games. So I think the most likely tomorrow night is Jota probably misses out at Manchester United. And then I think it's probably for the other 2 games, Mane, Firmino, Salah are all going to take a turn. It could be that Salah plays all of them, but I think there's enough risk for Sunday and Wednesday to make me think I wouldn't have the confidence to captain him for Sunday and Wednesday when I've got good alternatives on those days. That's why I think I'm not likely to buy Salah. Plus, I've swung all this time over the last sort of 10 weeks or so without Salah, and it's not hurt me too bad. So I feel like I should see it through now. To go with him for me is just a defensive tactic, which arguably in some of the mini leagues I'm in, I probably should do. But I don't think I'd have the cojones to captain him. And I think a lot of other people still will. So I'm still going to be behind these people. So I think I'm probably better off still leaving it. Tomorrow night, Calvert-Lewin for me at Villa's fine, I think.
What about Friday? Who do you own from Manchester City? Still no one.
Nothing.
So you need to buy someone. I've got De Bruyne and Cancelo. De Bruyne, if he plays, captain. Cancelo, second choice. If neither, then I have a problem.
The problem with City as well is Same thing. You're going to buy a Man City player that's going to play you the 3 games? No, but the way I'm viewing that is I'll probably get 2 games Friday night, having seen the team, and then 1 extra game. And if I get the haul on the captaincy Friday night, then it's worth it. Considering I'm going to be binning a Maddison or a Dunk or a Holding or something like that. So I think Wilson's injury makes me think like, and considering I've got 2 defenders that are a problem for me, that just simplistically on Ruben Diaz back again is probably the safest play, really. If Dunk hadn't got injured, do you know what I really would have loved as a differential if he was in the team is Mahrez.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Really punt that again with, I say again, to really punt that with minimal ownership. I think it's a sort of fixture that could be really suitable for Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez, De Bruyne, Foden, all good differential choice picks if they're in the team. I think a few will punt Aguero if he's in the team. It wouldn't be for me personally, but I think people would look at that and go, if he's in the team tomorrow night, he probably plays the final day against Everton, and then you captain him again, and then you've probably got 2 captaincies out of it. I think Diaz is probably where I'm going to end up. It would be really surprising, even in his case, if he wasn't, and he is the one that invariably always seems to play. So if there was one City player you'd think, yeah, I'm going to get 3 games out of him, then it's most likely to be Ruben Diaz. I get that. Ederson, I think it's a good alternative for a lot of people. So I think, to be honest, for yourself, would, if for some reason De Bruyne and Cancelo, neither of them are in the team, to come off your Patricio problem, Ederson he'll probably play the 3 league games, won't he? And you look at that and think, yeah, okay, with a captaincy, that's probably worth it. It's all dependent on the team. My 2 choices are basically completely dependent on the teams tonight and the teams Friday. And obviously, if it doesn't really go my way and I make transfers tonight and Wednesday, I could be done. But like I said, if I don't move tonight on a Chelsea player, then there's every chance I might buy Andrew Robertson tomorrow and just go with, I've got Trent as well, go with those 2 Liverpool defensive players for the final 4 fixtures, even though I certainly wouldn't captain Robertson. I'd be surprised if the only reason he wouldn't play the 4 games, I think, is if he got an injury. And they've got really good final 3 fixtures. So these are where I'm at with my decisions. It could be that I end up buying 2 defenders. That's fucking shit to end the Sky season. To end up just finishing the season and going, yeah, Robertson and Diaz, or Azpilicueta and Diaz. Feels shit, but it's also probably the right moves.
The defenders have been racking up tier points and doing well, passing tier and what have you. So I don't think it's not exciting, but you're right, it is the right thing to do. What are your thoughts on the Saturday? Jesse Lingard against Brighton, or are you thinking Nick Pope at home to Leeds? For me, it's going to be Jesse Lingard away at Brighton.
I can tell you who I would have captained on Saturday, without a doubt. Lewis Dunk. I think it would have been a really good passing tier game for him again. It's a choice for me now. I've got Lingard. I won't go Lingard. Yeah, I think Brighton are a good side. Even without Dunk, I can't see that game being high scoring. I can't see him going off. So it's Pope or Rafinha, I think.
Have you made a decision?
I think I'm likely to go Pope.
Okay.
And my thinking on that is Leeds obviously have a lot of efforts on goal. If Burnley kept a clean sheet, I think that in itself is going to be a 12-pointer. If they won 1-0, there's every chance you've got the man of the match on top of that as well. And then I start looking at it and going, I probably prefer Rafinha as a pick, but what's the likelihood of Rafinha getting me sort of a 12-pointer away to Burnley? And I just think Pope's ceiling actually is a little bit higher. So I think I'm going to go Pope on Saturday against Leeds. I get the value out of my fucking transfer then as well.
Yeah, true.
I feel better out of it. So I think I'm going to go Pope on Saturday.
And on the Sunday, I mean, Tottenham at home to Wolves is attractive. Liverpool at West Brom is attractive. And Everton at home to Sheffield United is attractive. You might have coverage of all 3. I don't have Everton coverage. And my Liverpool coverage is Jota. So I think I'm actually going to go with Son at home to Wolves as my captain on Sunday.
Well, Kane and Salah will obviously be very, very popular. The beauty of Kane versus Salah is, that Kane will be in that team. I think if Salah was to play 90 minutes tonight, that might make people a little bit nervous for Salah captaincy on Sunday. I'm likely to go DCL again. I just can't look beyond. Again, it's a ceiling thing. I look at Kane versus Wolves. Do I think Harry Kane scores on Sunday? I always think Harry Kane will score. But if you said to me now, right, one of them's going to get the match ball at the weekend, who's the more likely? How many people really tear it up against Wolves? not many. Spurs have obviously got multiple scorers now in the form of Son and Bale and Ali all being in the team as well. I think DCL against Sheffield United, in spite of Everton's terrible home record, DCL, I think I'm going to go. So I'm going to go Cavett doing Thursday and Sunday. He's basically my differential for what's left. His ownership in the top 1,000 is 18.4%. If he can get me a goal Thursday, get me a couple of goals Sunday, I'll be laughing. I'll finish well, literally on that.
On the Tuesday next week, Manchester United at home to Fulham's the early kickoff, and we'll know the team. City's away game at Brighton, but I think by then, look, the league's wrapped up now. They're going to have eyes on Champions League. Bruno's in the team on Tuesday. I'm going to captain Bruno, safe and simple.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Bruno versus Fulham. Just go with it for that night if he's in the team. I don't think you need to overcomplicate it. It's United against one of the weakest teams in the league. There'll be fans back in the ground as well. Fullback option, if he's not, for whatever reason, would be Rafinha at Southampton. Quite like that. I think that's absolutely fine. The interesting thing about this is if people are brave enough, Man City kicks off at 7. Obviously, the United games and the Leeds games kick off at 6. If something leaks at 10 to 10-2, do you know what I mean? If you're sitting there with De Bruyne and you find out De Bruyne's in the team, you might find out that he's been set up to do the pre-match interviews or something, in which case you know he's in the team. If we can get anything like that, what a brilliant differential that could be.
Yeah.
But I think, Fernandes, Tuesday.
I think isn't there not 8 game days left, not 9, that we mentioned earlier? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, isn't it?
Oh, there's 8.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
Just checking.
8 days to go.
Next week, Tuesday, so we talked about the Tuesday, the Wednesday, 6 games, quite a bit of spread. Liverpool away at Burnley or West Ham away at West Brom.
I think
West Ham away at West Brom is quite a decent shout.
Obviously, if Salah wasn't in the team at West Brom, he would be monster captained at Burnley. I got a ticket for the Spurs game. I'm going to have to back my boy, aren't I? One last time. So I think I'll go Harry next Wednesday.
And you'll know if he's in the team. I mean,
I think really interesting differential idea for next Wednesday. Antonio. Yeah. For those who've got a lot of transfers left, Antonio at West Brom, entry on the Wednesday rather than this Saturday, unless you're coming off Man City player, for example. Antonio next Wednesday could be a really interesting differential shout. The other one I would have shouted was Wilson.
But he's out now.
So. I wonder if people have got a lot of transfers left, say like yourself, would you consider buying St. Maximin next Wednesday?
Yeah. I'm going to have some fun with it, I know.
Sheffield United and Fulham last 2. Could be. I don't think, again, you don't need to overthink that. I think Harry, knowing he's in the team against Villa, almost definite. My fullback, if Kane wasn't in the team, I'd probably go Trent at Burnley, I think. Okay. Rather than Lingard at West Brom.
So that's the captaincy coverage there. I've got a few problems that I can solve, but I just need to, more than anything, see the teams just in the same way that you've described. I think that will dictate where I go with my transfers in the coming days. We put a tweet out to ask for some questions, James. We've got 11 questions come in. I wonder if we've answered some of them as we've been talking. Do you want to answer them?
Can, but before we do, I want to go through your team again. Since you got Patricio, he's going to go, right?
Yeah, it could be Edison or Mendy. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Azpilicueta, stay.
Yeah. Probably. You can make with what you've got. You make a strong case to bin him on tomorrow night.
Cancelo.
I'd be tempted to bin after Friday.
Dallas stays.
Stays, yeah.
It's cheap. Lingard.
I think fixtures. I think stays because yes, decent fixtures, and there isn't a great off point for West Ham. You only the most you can gain really is one fixture anywhere.
Yeah. De Bruyne stays.
Probably, yeah.
Maddison bin.
Go.
When's the best time to get on Maddison now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes stays because I've got captaincy out of him. Iheanacho.
You could bin. I think it's a strong case to bin. So look at yours and go, right, so Patricio's going to go. You could get rid of him now, tonight even, whatever. Cancelo, you want to bin after Friday. Fernandes, I would say you bin next Wednesday.
Okay.
Because I don't think he played last day at Wolves.
Okay.
That's part why I was thinking of binning him.
So that's 3 transfers.
Iheanacho can go now.
4
Who
transfers.
else you got, Leicester?
Madison, we talked about him being
Madison, yeah.
Yeah, so Patricio, Cancelo, Madison, Fernandez, Iheanacho, maybe De Bruyne. That's my 6 transfers, and I've got Son and Jota. Son and Jota stay or go?
So you need to, Jota off. The thing is, Jota could play the 3 easy fixtures that are left. I think he'll be left out tomorrow night. He could play the 3 easy fixtures that are left, which could make him an interesting differential. I think you got to have contingencies, right? You want a contingency for tonight to get the best captaincy. You should, with what you've got left, you should be buying whoever you think's the best captaincy tonight. If Azpilicueta's not in the team, that's your one contingency. Yep. You need a contingency for Man City. You need to leave 1 left, which you could obviously then put for Fernandez if you don't use it tonight, to move Fernandez, I think, next Wednesday. Otherwise, I think you should steam into Liverpool.
Right.
And do it tomorrow night. So who have you got from Liverpool?
Jota.
Just Jota. I think you'd look at it tomorrow night and go, you've got 4 versus 2/1 in many cases, and you should steam into them, I think. And I'd just get it done tomorrow. So I'd definitely get 1 defensively. Alisson might solve some problems for you, ironically.
I like the idea of Trent.
Salah, if you want to go down that route. But I think definitely buy a couple of Liverpool. What you could always do is you could always buy a couple tomorrow and then go back for some more on Sunday. Or Wednesday. So you could even save, if you ended up in a 4-4-2, if Salah wasn't in the team on Sunday, you might think, okay, Fernandez to Salah next Wednesday even, for example. But I think, you'd steam into Liverpool. And the other one, to be honest, to throw another name, Calvert-Lewin, mate.
Yeah, again, he's not a bad shout because there's captaincy options there as well.
4 fixtures left, and the next 3 fixtures are good. And although it's Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, if he's fit, he plays.
Yeah.
So I think Calvert-Lewin, another really interesting one. You could make a case in Everton's case, maybe even a Pickford goalkeeper option. Michael Keane could well have passing tiers up in all 3 of these games. Will he play them? He'd be the one probably defensively from Everton. So I think Everton, Liverpool tomorrow night, you should be looking to go into.
Yep. Okay. There's some thoughts there that I can. There's more transfers than even the 6 that I've got that I can make.
There's loads you can make, mate.
Yeah.
Don't sit on them until next Wednesday, mate. Make some. Your days really are tonight if you need it, Friday if you need it. Otherwise, Thursday, Sunday, Wednesday, and you could even split it and go, right, I don't need anything, so I'll go 2 Thursday, 2 Sunday, 2 Wednesday, to enhance your gains where you want them.
Makes sense. And if you're in my boat, then that is what you should do. Right. Let's look at these questions. Talon the Deem says, who are the best 2 candidates for each day in your opinion? Captain candidates. Well, we've just covered them off. So there you go with those. Phantom Mantle, choose 1 for the rest of the season out of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, or Antonio. Antonio and Bamford probably have slightly better fixtures. DCL has more fixtures. Luke says probably DCL or Bamford. Get DCL tomorrow night, so it's a fixture gain. It makes sense. I think what you've mentioned there as well is DCL is a decent backup captaincy option with his fixtures, whereas Antonio, maybe West Brom, but apart from that, I don't know if I would captain him.
DCL, but it's got to be in context, right? So if you're in a position where, I don't know, they say you've got Fernandez, Madison, and another ship midfielder you want to get rid of, then it might be that Antonio is the better solution for your team. But otherwise, I say, buy Calvert-Lewin tomorrow.
We have Adam Robinson who says, will Scott Parker not play Anderson now he's on loan? Now as he's on loan and they are down, him and Maddison to go, do you think? Well, yeah, Maddison definitely. So do you think Anderson's going to stop playing?
No, I don't. I think he'll still play, actually. But it was something I was conscious of ahead of Monday as well. They've got a lot of players who are in on loan. And for them, these players, the Andersons, Madgers, Loftus-Cheeks, and they ain't going to be signing from next season. So you do ask yourself in reflection, go, what's the point of playing them for the remainder of the season? I think in Anderson's case, playing with Anderson is still good for Adebayo, for example, in terms of learning from him. So I think Anderson probably will still play. It was something that put me off Monday night to think, yes, that is a possibility. And obviously, the more I kind of thought about the Fulham-Burnley game, I did come to the conclusion that I fancied Burnley to go there and win the game. I wouldn't move him on. I mean, you get information Saturday as well. So they play on Saturday and Tuesday. You could make a case that you'd bin him after Saturday anyway if you've got the luxury of transfers. Newcastle are a team who don't really look like they're going to go through games without scoring at the moment. So it's actually a more difficult final two for Fulham than it looks. Danny Ings is also back for Saturday. Reality is you're not expecting anything from him. But is it worth a transfer if you can't find gains or additional captaincy? If you look at the captaincies we've gone through here, the ones that stood out as defensive ones, really, bar kind of my Nick Pope situation Saturday, the ones that stood out for defensively are the single game days. So it's either Chelsea tonight, City Friday, or obviously the gains for Liverpool. But obviously, if you're going from Anderson to a Trent or something, you need to have that money in the bank. And if you've got lots of spares, you need to be conscious of what your next move is if you make that kind of a jump, basically. So if you was moving defensively, I think it's Chelsea, Liverpool, or City. Otherwise, don't bother. By the way, best shout for captaincy on Saturday. Someone we didn't mention, but if someone did have him, perhaps punted last night. Mad if they did, but well done, Danny Ings.
Adam also says he listens to the pod every week and thank you. Thank you for listening. FPL parking the bus, who also says this is my last question of the season. So thank you for all the Sky content. It feels very end of schooly. If Aspi doesn't start versus Arsenal, who's your favourite Chelsea option? We've discussed those. He's in a 4-3-3, so a defender or a mid is good. Well, Havertz, Mount, or Rudiger as the other option. FPL off spinner with a front three of Wood, DCL, and Salah, and only 2 transfers left. Would you keep them as your forward line for the remainder of the season? DCL and Salah, yes. So really it's around Chris Wood is the vibe I get from what you've been saying so far, James.
Yeah, there's a strong case to move Wood on Sunday. That would be the right time to move. So then if you're looking Sunday, was it got DCL as well? DCL, Wood and Salah.
Yep.
So I mean, the only one really there would be if you were going Wood to Kane on Sunday, or Bale if you want to go for a differential. I think for the final two. I mean, if you want to go into Tottenham on Sunday and we're going Bale or Son, I'd go Bale because of the home performances, good differential captain. You know, the explosion is in there. The problem with selling Wood is I look at my team for the final day, Sunday 23rd, and looking at it now, I'm thinking, who do I captain? And I'll probably end up on Trent versus Crystal Palace and looking at it and go, can he against Palace on that final day get me clean sheet, pass and tear and a goal and really, really hit it off? Because my team looks shit for the final day.
Right.
And when we get there, Chris Wood at Sheffield United is one of the best choices for captaincy on that final day because it's Sheffield United. Admittedly, they'd have a crowd back in. That might make a little bit of difference for Sheffield United. But I think it's probably that with Wood. If you've got any thoughts of captaining me at Sheffield United final day, it's probably a keep. If not, you're sitting there with Salah. You're not going to captain Wood against Sheffield United over Salah against Palace, I don't think.
No.
So I think it's been for Sunday, but the 2 best choices. Hang on, he can't have DCL. Oh, he hasn't got Kane, has he?
No.
I mean, it's Wood to a Tottenham player Sunday, really, probably.
Okay.
It's probably the best solution out of that. Watkins obviously won't be suspended. He'll miss the game on Thursday night. But that's not great. Villa, what have they got left? Villa, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Chelsea. No, you're not doing that. It'd be a Tottenham player. Or go different formation.
Yeah.
Or go double Liverpool. Mane.
Yeah. Ron says, with all captaincy days covered till the end of the season, would you use your last remaining transfer now to get a fixture gain or save it until the last day of the season? And Tom Hartnell's in a similar situation. He's asking, should he use it if his City or Chelsea players don't play in the next couple of days? As Piliqueta and Diaz is who he's on.
It depends what you're selling. So if you're selling Leicester, you should probably go, I think, for Liverpool tomorrow night. If you're selling someone who's, I don't know, let's say you were hypothetically coming off Lingard or something, then you'd make the move Sunday, I think. So it depends what you're selling, but yeah, I would do it. The game there is Liverpool, or as we said, alternative Everton. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, for those who've got transfer sizes left for whatever reason like yours, is a definite buy tomorrow.
Matt Seward says Everton, Villa, and Liverpool all have 4-for-2s over Leicester, Chelsea, and Arsenal. With that after tomorrow, right? So after today for Chelsea and Arsenal. What players would you target from those teams?
I think for Villa, because we haven't spoken about them, Martinez is still the best
Standard.
shout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with those final two fixtures, Tottenham and Chelsea, you're not fancying a great deal though. So you are better off going in Everton and Liverpool. Everton's next three fixtures, Villa, Sheffield United and Wolves, are good. Liverpool's last three fixtures are good. Very difficult to make a case for Villa players over those two.
Correct. Yeah. Sean Retty, I have Soyuncu, Fofana, Castagne, Nacho, and Lewis Dunk. Not quite 5 transfers remaining. Who sees out the whole season or none at all? Soyuncu could probably stay, right? He's reasonably priced, and even Nacho.
Again, it's a little bit dependent. So I can't really make a case to keep Iheanacho when you could go and buy Calvert-Lewin or Salah tomorrow night or Harry Kane on Sunday if it gives you captaincy, whatever you want to do with it. I can't really. I mean, you could make a case to buy Danny Ings on Saturday to get rid of Iheanacho. So I think in the case where you've got, was it 5 players, maybe 4 transfers left? I think for me, Iheanacho is probably more of a hold. Because I'd also look at him and think, do you know what? Against Tottenham final day, he actually could be an outside captaincy shout. And what was last night? The first time he hasn't scored in since whenever, right? Absolutely ages. So I think he can probably stay for me because I've decided personally I'm going to go without Salah. I think from the majority of other people, though, it would be a sell. From all those that you've got left, what was the Leicester player? Castagne, Fofana,
Soyuncu, and that's it. Just the 3.
Just the 3, and Iheanacho.
Oh, Nacho, yeah.
I think the one to hold would be Soyuncu.
I'd say so too. Paul, Sky player in FPL, the man who started this Sky journey for us, James.
Bastard.
Assuming you already have all captaincy days covered, who is the one player that you'd like to have for the remainder of the season, but may not actually be able to get in due to lack of transfers, team structure, constraints, budget, etc.?
Could be a Liverpool player, I think. If I end up buying Chelsea tonight, I'm not buying Liverpool player tomorrow, and I'm definitely buying a Man City player Friday. So that's me then done. So I have a Liverpool player. So
I think for me, it's going to be Antonio. I don't know if I'm going to get him just because of the other transfers I'm going to make, but it'd be fun to own between now and the end of the season. Could go big in any given game at any given time.
I won't argue that. Listen, if I had unlimited left, there's no doubt I'd be buying Antonio. Well, I would have bought him on the Sunday gone.
Well, glad you didn't now.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah. And the last couple of questions go to our friend Ian Parrin, who has 2. With Villa, Everton, and Liverpool having 4 fixtures, Leicester only 2, everyone else 3. Which player from every position do you expect to score the most points between now and the end of the season? Forwards, Salah?
Yeah, hard to think against that. He says going without him. Calvert-Lewin might push it though.
Yeah. Midfield, a Chelsea player in Havertz?
No.
KDB? Mahrez?
No.
You mentioned a couple of times?
I think either Antonio or Rafinha.
Wow, 2 good budget options there. In those,
I think Rafinha could be absolutely brilliant for these last 3 games. He says probably on the bench against Burnley, but at least if you're thinking of buying him on Saturday for whatever reason, you will get to see the team first. But then going in on Tuesday is not a good entry point. But again, you would get to see the team. Rafinha, the last 3 could be. And I mean, if you're saying defensively, Stuart Dallas, mate.
You think Stuart Dallas can score the most points this season?
Probably not. I'd go Trent, but Dallas. That's regrettable for me. It's probably the biggest one to regret. I'm not sure if I had him. I think I did have him, but I haven't had him since like Christmas or anything.
He's been decent, he has.
He's just ticked through absolutely brilliant. He's arguably, if you were to list fantasy player of the year, irrespective of game format, he'd have to be in the reckoning for that.
Yeah, agreed. And goalkeepers.
Alisson.
And Ian asked the final question, James, to wrap the pod, because it's a hypothetical one now. where will you take the family if you win holiday? Oh, if you win holiday money. So this is not hypothetical because he's not talking about winning the big money, but just the mini league monies.
Butlins.
UK holidays are shot up in price, mate.
Well,
now no one's allowed to go anywhere.
We've been looking this week. I can tell you the honest answer to that is I think we're going to keep on podcasting because it ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal around the UK, is it at all?
No, it's just ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want to go away during the Euros because I've got things to do, namely headphones, microphone, etc. And then you look in July and stuff, it's just ridiculous. Even we've looked in like September, October. It's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
So
I saw talking to Euros. I saw you're the English correspondent for our friends at Happy Hour. It's funny because me and James talk a lot every day about all sorts. There's still stuff we don't talk about, and that's one of the things we haven't even spoken about. But yeah, if someone knows their international football, you're gonna do England proud.
We haven't got any correspondence for the Euros, but I can promise you, next couple of weeks, Paul McNulty from Fancy Football Hub is coming on the podcast to talk about Scotland before the Euros.
Nice, that'll be fun. Definitely looking forward.
I haven't told him that yet.
Right.
But he will.
Is he physically coming? Because we could do his stag do at the same time, couldn't we?
Can't afford to go anywhere. But talking of socials, 24th of July, date. Oh, I say date. Date's not 100%. It's 99%.
99%.
Venue is in London, but not 100% yet. So we'll probably tell you.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're getting there, but with the restrictions and everything, things can change quite rapidly, and we're just making sure we know what's going on in terms of track and trace and pre-regging if people need to, and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're going out for a few beers on the 24th of July, Saturday.
Yeah, we're doing that with Who Got the Assist and FPL Surgery. But yeah, Sky listeners more than welcome to come. And
anyone. It's a free for all.
It's going to be pub time venue. It's no tickets or bullshit. It's turn up and come and have a beer.
And there's no show or like we're not. There's no. So it's literally a drink up.
It's just literally a piss up. I won't promise not to bring a microphone, but it's just a piss up.
Nice. Yeah. Looking forward to it. So do come and join us because it's what it's about, just getting together and having some fun. So keep that date in your diary. Anything else to add, James?
No. We'll be back again next Wednesday, deciding whether to pile into Alan St. Maximin with our last transfer. I will definitely be done, I think. But yeah, we're back next Wednesday. Got a few ideas of what we want to do to kind of round off the Sky season for the week after as well, and a few bits and bobs before the end of the season. Get our mini league winner on and whatnots. That's it. But
nice.
There's more than just next Wednesday still to come. We'll do a bit more Sky once the season's finished as well.
Perfect. There we go. Do stay tuned wherever you are by hitting the subscribe button on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and all of that jazz. And we'll be back at you tomorrow with Clash of the Correspondents. Stay safe. Ciao for now.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck this week. Cue music, please, man, child.